Eagles are looking for a new head coach. This time to replace Doug Peterson, who has a statue outside the link for winning the Super Bowl less than 3 years ago. Sources have told Adam Schefter that the team has requested to interview 49ers defensive coordinator Robert Saleh, who has already interviewed with the Lions, Jets, Chargers, Jaguars, and Falcons about their head coaching vacancies. Also, Dan Graziano reporting that the Eagles plan to interview Titans offensive coordinator Arthur Smith, who's credited with elevating the play of Ryan Tannehill over the last 2 seasons. Smith has interviewed with the Lions, Jets, Chargers, Jaguars, and Falcons. Sal Paolantonio reporting that the Bucs defensive coordinator Todd Bowles is on the team's interview list in Philly. Bowles had head coaching experience with the Jets. He has Philly roots going back to when he played college ball at Temple in the mid-'80s. He's already interviewed with the Falcons. All things Philadelphia. No one knows the pulse better in that city than Sal Paolantonio, who joins us now. Sal, so we mentioned 3 early candidates, but there's another key name here. What can you tell us about the team's potential interest in Oklahoma's Lincoln Riley?
Well, there is a reliable report out there, Kevin, that GM Howie Roseman has reached out to Lincoln Riley at Oklahoma. And it makes sense on a number of levels, right? He coached Jalen Hurts, who's now on the Eagles roster, as everybody knows, as a rookie quarterback, to some acclaim at Oklahoma. Lincoln Riley is the kind of name that takes the sting out of releasing, letting go, firing, whatever word you want to use, Doug Peterson. And Howie Roseman likes to go for broke. But what I am hearing is that Lincoln Riley is happy at Oklahoma. He thinks he's got a good job. He's making $6.5 million a year. He's making more money right now than Doug Peterson would be at the Philadelphia Eagles. Doug has 2 more years on that contract, and that if he were interested in going to the NFL, it probably would be to go to the Dallas Cowboys. That is a job that he has been linked to. So the question is whether or not they go for Lincoln Riley, right? I mean, if you go for Lincoln Riley, that means you're all in on Jalen Hurts and you're out on Carson Wentz.
Yeah. And that is the next big question in Philadelphia. With Peterson gone, what's the likelihood the Eagles will look to trade the 28-year-old Wentz moving forward?
Well, it looks as though once they moved on from Nick Foles, they went to Carson Wentz, paid him the big deal. And once they moved on from Doug Peterson, that they were committed to Carson Wentz. Now, Howie Roseman, when he addressed the media after the season, did not close the door on trading Carson Wentz, but it seems to be lining up for Carson Wentz in 2021. But now you have to go in knowing that in the interviews with the coach, right? The first question a prospective coaching candidate, Kevin, is going to ask you is, what are we doing at quarterback? I don't want to walk into a home-cooked quarterback controversy. You know, this is an organizational decision to keep Carson Wentz. I, as a coach, have to decide whether I can fix Carson Wentz. So, you know, they have to be definitely on the same page. And, Kevin, I just got to tell you, I know you're an Eagles fan. We covered the parade together. That was a magic carpet ride that Doug Peterson took everybody on, right? And right now, people are very shocked and very sad.
Seems like it happened a decade ago. Keep this in mind, too, as well. If Wentz is traded, he could still end up costing the Eagles nearly $34 million against the cap over the next 2 years. Sal Pal, appreciate it. Sage? Well, in a season where each passing day could derail the present, the final result was something we've been accustomed to, and that is Alabama winning a national title. Saban, Mac Jones, Devontae Smith celebrating Miss Terry. And the champs arriving home in Tuscaloosa today after closing out a perfect season in Miami over Ohio State. And this team could make a claim as the best one to wear the crimson and white. That's saying a lot considering the teams in Tuscaloosa through the years. Saban passing Bear Bryant for the most titles all time, number 7 in his career. This offense historic. Heisman winner Devontae Smith highlights a big 3 that finished in the top 5 in the Heisman race. The Crimson Tide became the first team in major college football. He should have a quarterback, Mac Jones, passed for 40 touchdowns, a running back, Najee Harris, and a wide receiver accounting for 20 touchdowns apiece. This team scored 50 points in 7 of their 13 games, the highest rate of 50-point games by a national champ since Mac Brown's Texas team in 2005, led by Vince Young. And get this, Alabama played 52 quarters of this season. They scored at least a point in 50 of them. That's 96%. Saban today on what he'll remember the most about this team.
We've had teams